It seems, Robard, that we're running out of options.
We don't have enough men to scale the walls with ladders, and we can't afford to lose any more. We can only take Talmberg by a ruse or with superior numbers. Ruses have failed, and we don't have superior numbers.
Then we are left with no choice but to build a trebuchet. To demolish my own walls. Where's Master Fafar?
He's waiting. We sent for him as soon as...
Bring him to me. Let's not waste time.
Sir Divish.
You will build me a trebuchet, Master Tobias.
Trebuchet, my lord. That's not entirely in my field of expertise.
We have to take back Talmberg.
Yes, indeed, sir, I understand that.
You are the best engineer we can rely on in the whole fiefdom.
Oh, well, thank you, my lord, but it's just that I've never built a trebuchet before. This could take some time.
Then you'd better get to it. Bernard will go over the plan of attack with you.
Oh.
Well, Master Tobias, you have much to do and little time. I will not keep you any longer.
Indeed. Of course, sir. Thank you, my lord.
How are the preparations proceeding in the other camps?
As well as can be expected under the circumstances. There are still many things that need doing, but I just don't have the time for them.
No, you don't. Henry.
Yes, sir.
I would like for you to help with the preparations in the encampments.
Gladly, sir.
Robard will brief you. That'll be all.
What needs to be done?
Look, a military encampment's a complicated thing. I don't expect it to be as peaceful and orderly as Holy Mass. But what we have here now is havoc. The men are as nervous and short-tempered as caged bears. When you walk around the camps, you'll see for yourself. Grumbling everywhere, complaints about everything from the gruel to the fleas. They're moaning they've drunk the alehouse dry, and now they have to wait for the next batch of beer. We've got dead who deserve a decent burial, and a lot of wounded, including one of their lordships. The less the troops grumble, the better off we'll all be. But that's not even the main problem.
What do you mean?
Did you hear what Sir Divish was saying to Fafar, our master builder?
I heard some of it.
And what did you make of it?
He said he'd never built a trebuchet catapult. I wouldn't even know where to start, but he might.
But if it'll take him as long as he said, we can't wait until Judgment Day. We don't have that much time.
I'll try to ask him if I can help in some way.
You should definitely do that. Without a trebuchet, we're much too weak.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
Sir Robard sent me to you. He said you have to build a trebuchet.
Indeed. A trebuchet that can smash the walls of Talmberg. I, a mining engineer. What do I know of war machines? I'll never manage it on my own.
Well, I'd like to help you, but how? I don't know anything about trebuchets either.
Actually, there is a way you could help. Conrad Keyser came to Sasso recently. If you could get him to come here, it would save my skin.
Conrad Keyser? Who's he?
He's a scholar who studied medicine, but he also designed siege engines. He even took part in the siege of Nicopolis, together with Sigismund.
You're still an engineer, though. Couldn't you build it yourself?
Are you serious? Do you know how complicated such a machine is? What forces are at work in the contraption? If we were lucky, it wouldn't fire at all. Far more likely it would smash itself to smithereens and kill lots of us instead of the enemy.
He was with Sigismund.
It's not so straightforward. They quarrelled after the battle, after Conrad blamed their defeat on Sigismund.
I don't suppose he took that too well.
Quite. That's what led to Conrad being banished from Prague and making a base at Bethlen Castle.
Banished? Like a common criminal?
He was a member of the court and a doctor and a master engineer, so nothing quite that bad befell him. I've even heard he has a whole host of wise men with him, and they're writing some book together.
What's he doing here in Sasau?
They sent him over here to help with building the monastery. No doubt they had to pay handsomely to get him.
And how am I supposed to get him here? Abduct him?
Well, only if all else fails. We need his cooperation. Try having a word with him. By all accounts, he hates Sigismund.
All right, I'll do what I can.
Thank you, Henry. Maybe we will build that trebuchet after all. God save. What can I do for you?
Do you happen to know the whereabouts of Conrad Kieser?
What? That old fool? The one who spends his time poring over old books instead of at the tavern? He's all locked away at the custodian's house. That's a big place in the courtyard by the monastery.
Oh, come on. What are you trying on here? God's blessings. What can I do for you?
Is this where Conrad Kieser lives?
Indeed. The world-renowned Conrad Kieser.
I need to speak to him.
Oh, really? Whatever for?
I need to talk about a shipment of new weaponry for the custodian.
Oh, really? What kind of new weaponry?
From the Steelmasters of Solingen.
What? The fucking makes so much that you can afford weaponry like that. But why upset myself? Go ahead and visit the wastrel. Here's the key.
Enter. Huh? By the horn of Joshua, you startle me. I thought you were urban. What do you want?
Sir Tobias Fafar, the master builder and engineer from Skalitz, sends his greetings.
Fafar? Tobias Fafar? I've heard of him. He invented an interesting mining machine. What does he need?
Sir, have you heard what's been going on in Talmberg?
I've heard a thing or two. Is it true the castle's been taken?
It has, and we want to take it back. Master Fafar has been given the task of building a trebuchet, but he's not sure he can manage it.
I doubt it myself. Building siege engines is an entirely different kettle of fish than mining. Damn, I'd like to rain some boulders on those heathens of Sigismund's. But that can't be done with a quill and parchment, and I can't leave here right now.
Why can't you leave?
That's a long story. I was a little, more than a little, critical of Sigismund's efforts at Nicopolis. And it might surprise you to know, after that defeat, he didn't particularly appreciate my criticism. Then, when Sigismund abducted the king, I didn't feel too secure in Prague, so I left. Perhaps left is the wrong word. Some might say I was banished. In any case, I went to Bethlern Castle.
They locked you up in Bethlern?
Not quite. It's a royal castle. They leave me to my own devices there. Frankly, this so-called banishment has been a bit of a blessing. I have peace and quiet to attend to my opus and a band of able assistants. Although I have lost quite a few of my patrons, thanks to all this unrest.
And why are you here in Sasau?
To be honest, I need the money.
Money, sir? You don't seem like a man who lives in want.
Dear me, no. I don't need it to support myself. It's to fund my opus. That's why I agreed to help with the construction of the monastery. So, you see, I can't simply take my leave.
What is it you're working on, sir?
Belli Fortis, a great book of war machines and weapons, my opus magnum, my legacy. All you have seen here are but snippets of my great work. Mark my words, One day, our whole world will be run by machines and inventions not yet dreamed of.
Of course. Any day now they'll plough our fields and milk our cattle.
What did you say?
Oh, nothing. Just thinking aloud about things for battle. Who do you work for here?
My contract is with the abbot himself, but I discussed the work details with Carol, the monastery's master builder.
Could I not just pay off the master builder for your services?
I doubt it. Carol is only interested in the construction. As long as he has the money to pay the craftsmen's wages, that's all he needs.
Ah, as long as he has enough for wages, you say?
Yes, what are you thinking?
Couldn't Carol be persuaded somehow? After all, the defence of the province is at stake.
I realise that, but Sassau Monastery has always kept its neutrality. What's more, the abbot isn't here at present, and without his permission, Carol won't be persuaded. But I might have another idea.
What do you suggest?
Carol received his commission in writing. If you found it, we could copy the abbot's seal and signature on our own document.
That's a curiously interesting idea.
My inventiveness has many applications. I could be back here before the abbot, so he won't even know I was gone.
How do I get my hands on the commission?
It will be somewhere in his quarters. You'll need to get it quickly and put it back before he notices it's gone. I suggest waiting until evening. That's when Carol usually goes to the tavern to play dice. He's fond of his dice. Maybe you can take advantage of that somehow.
Right. I'll see what I can do.
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad? A monk's got no business out here. What happened to your vows? Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad?
Greetings. What business have you?
I've got that commission.
Not so loud, for heaven's sake. Show it here. The very thing. Go to the Sassau scribe and say to him the fox isn't half as clever as he thinks. Then he'll do as you ask.
Is that a password?
Just so. He insists on it. Don't forget to repeat it verbatim and aloud. Then all you have to do is take the new document to Carol and tell him a messenger brought it.
All right.
But most importantly, do it quickly and put the commission back immediately. Carol's no fool. If he can't find it, he'll put two and two together when you bring him the new document, and the game will be up.
I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
I have a message for you. The fox isn't half as clever as it thinks.
What?
The fox!
Jackass! What in heaven's name are you blabbering about?
Conrad Keyser sent me.
Why the hell didn't you say so?
That sod. He deliberately lied to me to make me look stupid.
Well, never mind. What do you want?
I've got this document here, and I need to have a different one drawn up with the same signature and seal.
So Conrad is still up to his old tricks. Give him my greetings. Let's see it then. All right. Give me an hour. And I hope I won't have problems on your account. Take care.
Is it done?
Here you are. And pass on my best to the old dragon. Good boy.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
A messenger brought a dispatch for you.
To the hand of... I charge... to be of assistance... Permission to leave Sasau? How very convenient for you.
The hand of fate.
We'll see what fate brings. I have an authorization letter of my own from the abbot, and if your letter of patent is fake, you'll be in trouble. Come with me. See you later.
So Conrad may leave?
He can. The letter of patent is genuine, and when the abbot commands...
Wonderful. I'll tell him.
Take care.
They're after me! Sweet Jesus, I knew this day would come!
What? Who is... Carol said you can leave and...
Leave? I can't even set foot outside the door! Not now!
Please, calm down and tell me what's going on.
They're after me!
Who? Who's after you?
Sigismund's people, of course!
Why would they be after you?
Because he's never forgiven my criticisms of Nicopolis. Now he's decided to pay me back. What am I to do?
What makes you think someone's after you?
When I was on my way to Sasau, I saw Baron Pekar in Kosterlitz. He was with Sigismund on the crusade, as was I. Now I've been told he was seen at the local tavern. And a stranger's been creeping around the gardens here late at night. My God, there are signs someone was trying to force the door. They're after me, Henry. The Lord preserve me. They want to kill me.
What makes you think someone's after...
They're...
Take it easy. If someone's after you, I'll see to him. I'll have a sniff around the town or lie in wait for him.
I don't know. What if he sneaks past you?
He won't, I promise. I'll hide in the garden, and if anyone starts creeping around after dark, I'll catch him.
You will, won't you? Good, good. And be sure to hide well. If he sees you, he won't come.
I've got you. You can't get away from me.
What? What are you talking about?
Silence! For God's sake, I caught you in the middle of an assassination attempt.
Assassination? What are you on about?
Are you Lord Pekar? The one who was on the crusade?
Well, yes. How do you know that?
Because you've come to assassinate Conrad Kieser.
Kieser? He's living here in the monastery?
Well, yes. Right here in this house. What's your business here?
It's all a terrible mistake. I've a long-standing arrangement with the custodian here, Sir Sebastian von Berg. I supply him with salt and spices, and I've come to realise how he's been cheating me repeatedly. The dispute's been running for a while and still has legs. So I wanted my money back, that's all. I've no quarrel with Conrad.
I don't believe a word you say.
Well, sorry, but I'm telling the truth. I suppose there's nothing to be done about it, unless you intend to skewer me on the spot. But if it will help you sleep better, I'll stop creeping around here at night and find some other way to deal with the custodian. Farewell.
Well, did you find anyone?
I did.
And?
You needn't fear. I kept watch the whole night and nothing happened. A few folk passed by, but nobody dangerous.
And what about Pekar?
None. He's just doing some trade with the custodian. That's what brought him to where you were.
Well, if you're sure, but I'd still rather lie low for a while.
Come to Talmberg. You'll be surrounded by a whole garrison there.
Yes. Yes, I suppose that does make sense. Thank you, Henry. I'm in your debt. We'll meet at Talmberg. A well-chosen site. You want to strike the gate, do you?
True. We don't want to do more damage than necessary.
I quite understand. Sir Toth is holed up there, is he?
Just so, Master Conrad. I hear you have some accounts to settle with him.
Ah, not entirely. I've done with him. Sigismund trusted him more than me in his campaign against the Ottomans, and we all know how that ended up.
How did it end up?
Badly, my lord. The flower of French knighthood was slain there. Sigismund fled for his life, and I did too, I must confess.
Be assured we shall not make the same mistake here. We do not intend to starve them into submission, but to break down the gate.
I am at your service, my lords. We will build the trebuchet quickly. It will be ready in a matter of days. And I can supply, for example, Rocketeer to sweep the foe from the battlements.
Rocketeer? I do not believe I've heard of such a term.
Rocketeer are missiles filled with black powder with a touch hole at the bottom to ignite it. They shoot forward, something like a hand cannon, but without rocks. The rocket is the missile.
I see. But we don't have black powder in these parts. Nor cannon.
Indeed. It should have occurred to me. But I am very fond of Rocketeer, and I always think what Alexander the Great might have accomplished with them. I understand. We find ourselves in a conventional situation that demands a conventional solution.
I'm still hoping that Toth will see sense and parley with us.
He may well do so, especially when we set up the trebuchet on his doorstep.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
I came to an agreement with Conrad.
He's already here. You wouldn't believe how clever that fellow is. Now we really will build that trebuchet. That I guarantee you.
Glad I could be of service.
I'm truly grateful to you. And the men will be too when the assault starts. Fine work. You've certainly saved many lives. I probably shouldn't, but go and have a look in my trunk. You might find something there you can use.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Am I imagining it? No, there is something lying there.
Watch out! I see an enemy!